Welcome to Super Flixx, the podcast covering superhero, sci-fi, and fantasy movies. I am one of your hosts, Eugene Plowden, and with me, as always, my podcast partner, Joe Hartley. What's up, man?
What's going on?
We are members of the Martial Arts InterNetwork, and you can check out our other show, Fists, Kicks, and Flicks, every Thursday on the Martial Arts InterNetwork. Joe, it's showtime. What's up, man? What's going on?
You know what? Not much. I told you I was gonna kick this Cold's butt in 2 days.
You know, that's why I texted you a little while ago. I was like, yo, you good to record tonight? Because I just knew I
No,
just
I
had a
told
feeling.
you. M- my wife was. So we were in bed last night. Looking for something to watch on TV, and she looked at me. She goes, "Are you better already?" I said, "For the most part." She goes, "You suck at being sick." I'm like, "Actually, I'm great at being sick." I told you I don't play. I don't like being sick. I don't want to be sick. So I take care of that stuff. She's been sick for almost 3 weeks now.
Yeah,
And
that's what I was going to ask you.
her thing to me is, well, two of the girls at work are still sick too. So you're doing it wrong. I'm like, no, I'm doing it right. And I
If
told you
you're
what to do.
if you're
I
better,
told you what to do. That's what I said. I told you, okay, when I get sick or if people around me are sick, I up my hydration. I get some vitamin C and I make sure I get as much sleep as I can possibly get. Those three things have always helped me boost my immune system and get better quicker, like all
Mhm.
the time. It's not foolproof, but most of the time, if I'm the last one sick, I'm the first one better.
Did you enjoy your day off, or were you just in bed though?
Well, so no, Tuesday I couldn't enjoy my day off as much. I had to my son had to go to a doctor's visit. So I had to take him to U of M because that's where all our specialists are.
Mhm.
uh my daughter a while back had scoliosis and we it was so bad she had to get the surgery for it.
Mm.
And my son is dealing with the same thing, but we caught this one a lot sooner. So we're having fun with that now.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
with scoliosis, I guess they can notice it. They noticed it during a physical,
Mhm.
and because of how bad it was for my daughter, we instantly made a doctor's appointment and they checked him out. And so now this is um, the follow up to that, and now they're giving us options. Physical therapy and a brace is what they prefer right now to try and correct it, so he doesn't have to get surgery. So
Okay. That's good.
that's where we're at. Yeah, you know, but that brace, he has to wear that for 18 hours.
Mm.
And
Wow.
this basically covers him from the top to the torso. So he's like, "Oh yeah, I can do that, no problem." But it's easier as 12-year-old boy being restricted like that.
Mhm.
So, but they wanted him to wear it for 3 weeks and then take him back and see how if that helps, if it's correcting the curvage. Because right now at the top he's at a 24-inch curve or something like that,
Okay.
24%. I don't 24 angle or something like that, and at the bottom it's at 18.
My
Anything, and
son,
if
my son's
yeah, either
he's
one gets.
calling me now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. He's not feeling good, so I'm just letting him know I'll
Oh
call him back. Yeah. So he
yeah.
he 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 had came home from school yesterday. So all right, go ahead, man.
Yeah, man, when your kids are sick, it's no fun. Like when I'm
Yeah.
sick, of course it sucks. But when kids are sick, like you just want them to feel better.
You know
So
what's
yeah,
even worse?
so
Worse than
huh.
your kid being 12, 13-year-old sick is when they're a baby because they can't tell you
Oh
what's
yeah.
wrong or oh man, you
Nope.
just kind of worry about what's happening, what's wrong with them, man. That when my son was sick for the first time, like man, I was worried because he couldn't say what was wrong, what was happening,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and those parent instincts kick right in, man. You got to be like, okay, what are we gonna do? What's happening? And especially
mhm. Yeah,
with the first one, like you call the doctor for everything.
yeah, yeah.
You just can't
Or
help
or your
yourself.
mom,
Cause
or your mom,
yeah,
or her
yep.
mom.
Oh yeah, I call
Yeah,
everybody. I call
yeah.
everybody. And and they're always, oh, do this. And everyone has their own opinion and everyone has their own ideas and everyone's like, oh, it's gonna be okay. But you never think that with that first one. And the second and third one, you're like, oh, we've been here before. Go ahead, we'll figure it out.
Well, let me
It's so
ask you this,
funny how
man.
that works.
Well, let me ask you this, man. Were you nervous with leaving your firstborn with your parents or your wife's parents? I was. And I was
Yeah.
like, you know, they know what to do. They raised me. Like, why am I
Yep.
nervous leaving my son with my mom, or my dad? They know what to do. My dad even said that. He was like, we did this before, we raised you and your brother. I was like, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, right. Okay. But still, I was
My mom was such a good caregiver. Like she'll still take care of me if I'm sick, and I'm not saying wives have to take care of us, okay? But if my
Mhm.
wife won't take care of me the way I wanted to, I could literally go to my mom and she'll take care of me. I know that sounds crazy, but she will. She will take care of me. I'm gonna be her baby for the rest of my life. So
Right.
she's just a natural born, like, nurturing person. That's just how she is. And
Mhm.
so she was like that with my kids. My kids stayed there when we went back to work, because my parents were retired. And I mean, it was like a second home. She had everything.
Mhm.
We didn't have to bring nothing. She got and I didn't ask her to. She got her own playpen. She got a changing table. She had everything. So when my kids would go over there, it was just like going to their second house.
Mhm.
So yeah,
Okay.
it was nice. It was very helpful. That's why I've never moved very far from my parents, because
Mhm.
they've always been very helpful.
Back up.
Um, yeah, other than that, yeah. So I took my son to the doctors, getting that stuff figured out. He's working on his play. That's coming up. That's coming up next month, right around my birthday too. So,
Okay.
and other than that, don't really have a whole lot going on this week. But next week we're pretty booked, and my wife's finishing up her first art show. She's got two more, so she's been busy with that. So I had to pick up the slack around the house a little bit, and then um, kind of take it from there.
Okay.
My son and I were talking about joining like a archery league over
Mhm.
at the place around the corner from us, just to kind of keep his skills. Honestly, we want to keep both our skills up, even with my wife.
That's
So
pretty
for the
smart.
next
That's
group
pretty smart to
that
do that.
we're gonna teach. So there's a gun club right around the corner from me
Mhm.
called Multi Lakes, and they do archery, clay birdies, all that stuff. So we you can go there, $5, or you can join a league and shoot once a week, twice a week. So we were thinking about doing that just to keep
Uh,
our skills up and help out.
do you do you still go bow hunting like that? That starts around in October, doesn't it? For the
I
for
haven't
the
been bow
deer.
hunting in a while, especially since my grandpa passed and his place was sold, because that was
Mhm.
like our spot.
Mhm.
But I do have a guy at work that keeps inviting me, and I've been asking my son, and he hasn't wanted to do it for a while, but he just started doing the 3D shooting at school, and he liked it. So now he's like, "Oh, Dad, can I go hunting with you?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's go."
Oh
So
wow.
I think in October, if he still wants to do it, I'll take him.
Yeah, I'm not. You know what, man? I'm not a hunter. I've never been hunting ever in my life, and I don't think I'm going to ever do it either. Now, when I was married, my ex-wife's dad, he asked me to go hunting with him one time, and I was like, okay, cool. That's cool. I want to try it. And then I got to thinking about it. I was like, if I get a deer, and then here's talking about with a rifle. If I get a deer, I'm not gonna want to touch that thing. I'm not gonna want to help him pick it up or drag it back to wherever. I'm not going to want to do that, man. And I just can't imagine me seeing a deer that's been shot in the side or in the head or something like that. I'm not gonna want to touch it. So that instantly went out of my head. But he did teach
Well,
me
if
about
it's your,
hunting.
I was gonna say, if it's your first time though, he's gonna show you the ropes, so you could just sit
Nah,
back and watch.
Nah, if I went all the way down to Arkansas because that's where he has land down in Arkansas. They from
Oh,
Arkansas.
that's you could do more than just deer hunting in Arkansas, man. There's a couple of things you can
Yeah,
find
that's
out there.
yeah. I don't want to do that.
That's serious hunting right there.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
yeah,
he's a
yeah, yeah. Because
serious
he
hunter.
man, he told me he was like, you got to have your hunting dogs with you, and every time you have a hunting dog, you got to have a pit bull with you, right? And
Okay,
I was like,
I
why?
thought
Like, why?
bloodhounds
Yeah,
were
yeah. No, no,
better
no.
hunting
He's
dogs.
well, I don't know what type of hunting dogs he had, but he said you always have to have a pit bull with you, also part of the crew, part of the so if you have bloodhounds, one dog needs to be a pit. And I was like, why do you need to have a pit bull with you? And he looked at me and he said, listen, when you're in those woods, if you come up on the bear, the pit is the only thing that's not going to be scared to fight the bear, and that's going to give you time to load your gun to shoot the bear. He's like the hunting dogs ain't going to try and fight a bear. He's like the pit is going to
Hell
try and
no,
fight. He's like the pit is going to try and fight the bear, and that just gives you enough time to load your rifle and shoot. And I was like,
bro.
yeah,
I've
you just
I've been
ended
around a
me.
lot of hunters, and I've never heard that in my life. That's
Yeah, well, like
crazy.
I said, he's from Arkansas. He's
That's
from the
insane.
South, man, and
Yeah.
he hunts all the time on his property down there, man. And I was just like, "Yep, you just ended it for me. There's no way in hell I want to participate in this." And even my son's mom's dad, he goes hunting all the time. And I remember one time when Champ was a little baby, we went over to the house, and he had a deer strung up in his garage, and he was cutting it up and everything. And that was the first time I ever seen that, and I was just like, just stuck frozen. And he grabbed the hooves and like, "Hey, Gene, how you doing?" And I was just like, "Yep, I'm I'm, I'm done. That's it. This
uh,
this this hunting activity is not for me.
that's that's the day
I'm a
Gene
city
became
boy.
a vegetarian.
No, no, I just knew that's it. Yeah, this activity is
Yeah.
not for me, man. I'm a city boy, man. I don't have no business being out in these woods playing around with these damn animals, man. So that was it for me. Um, yeah, man. Other than that, let's see. Nothing much going on. Me, actually, me and Angel finally started that other podcast, the Winter Circle.
Yeah, I started it today. I went to go listen to it earlier when
Hmm.
I was getting my breakfast and everything ready and my coffee, and my Spotify was down. It was
Yeah,
down
mine was too.
for like from like 8 to like 10:30. It wasn't
Okay.
working.
Yeah, that was the
And
time I was trying
it
to
was
get on it
crazy.
also, but I was just trying to listen to music, and I was like, you know what? I thought it was the internet, and I was like, you know what? I don't have time for this. Let me listen to a
You know,
podcast or something.
when something I'm trying to do is not working and like I do everything that I know to do, you uninstall it, reinstall it, start my phone back up and everything like that. When I do all that, then I Google and see if there's a problem. And right away it came up there's a problem.
Okay.
So I said, all right, I'll just wait and try again later. And I did. And then I got about 20 minutes in. So I'll listen to the rest of it at work tomorrow.
Okay. Okay. I couldn't find it on Spotify.
Really?
I took, no,
You
I
got to
couldn't find
look up the winter circle
Yeah,
and then click on
that's exactly
podcasts.
that's
Yeah.
exactly how I
I
typed
found
it
it.
in. Okay, well,
Yeah,
I'm
I
glad
found
you
it.
found it because I saw Jeff
Yeah.
when Jeff said he couldn't find it. I looked and I didn't see it. And Trav said that he's having issues with Apple right now, as far as that's why it's not on the Apple podcast. And when I did this show, it took a day or two, maybe about 2 or 3 days before this showed up in Apple, because everything else had popped up, Spotify and everything else that I listened to, all the other podcasts I submitted it to, it all popped up immediately. But Apple was the last one
You
for
think
Superflex.
Apple is like checking everything
I don't know.
thoroughly or something?
I have no idea, but I had a lot more information I had to put in, man. I had a lot of information that I had to submit for this show to Apple. So I don't know if Travis has the same issue for the Winter Circle. So, but it
Hmm.
was fun, man, and it's gonna be cool, man. Especially as a jujitsu practitioner myself, man. I'm really interested in getting a lot of information from Isaiah, man, because he's a third degree black belt in jujitsu. You don't really run into too many of them in Michigan.
Yeah,
You
would you
know,
call him the professor?
yeah. So that's exactly what that's exactly how
Yeah.
when somebody becomes a
No, I
black
liked
belt.
it. I thought that was good.
Yeah, that when people become black belts, they are called professors. That
Okay,
wasn't me
so
making that up.
he's still in Vegas, right?
Yeah, yeah, he's still in Vegas, but
Because I
he
just seen
comes
he
back and
opened a
forth.
new place
Hmm.
out in Clinton Township. So I was like,
Yep.
oh, is he back in town or is he just
Uh-uh.
doing a little traveling?
So he had a school here for a number of years, and
Yeah,
then
I
he moved
remember.
out. Yeah, so then he moved out to Vegas. He's been teaching in some gyms out in Vegas. And now he still has students here. So he's going to
Yeah.
open up a school here, and just I guess he's just going to come in and out of Detroit. But he has black belts here, so I guess they're going to run the school for him. And you know, and then he'll come in and maybe do testings or pop in every weekend or every other weekend or something like that. Go back and forth, whatever. So
However
yeah,
he's gonna make it work. But I'd
yeah,
like to see him pop up at one of the your uncle's tournaments or something. I haven't seen that guy in a while. I
man,
used to train with him all the time.
he showed up. He was yeah he showed up to. I saw him back in October. He came in for a tournament. He was at Curtis Butler's tournament at the end of the year, the last
Okay.
tournament at MSKC. He was there.
All right.
I actually thought that was January. He was like, "No, it wasn't January. That was October." It seemed like it just happened when I just ran into him. Matter of fact, it might. You know what? That might have been. Man, I can't even remember. It might have been either Battle Creek or Warren because those tournaments are real close to each other. So I can't remember. He was at one of them last year,
Yeah,
and
I'm
we chopped
telling
it
you,
up. So
if I could get weekends off at work, man, I would start coming to a lot more tournaments because I gotta take the time off, at work,
hmm
and they're getting
yeah,
real stingy about taking time off now.
and by the time you take time off and get to the tournament, you're coming at the very end, because you're getting off at 2 o'clock, right, on
I'm
Saturdays.
getting off at 2:30.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then I gotta travel from
yeah,
Pontiac.
yeah. So most of the time the tournaments are at least I mean, unless you want to get there
Yeah.
just to watch the black belts fight,
Oh, but that's why
you'll
that's
get
why I
there.
take the day off. Like for your uncle's tournament, I'll take Saturday, Sunday off
hmm Yeah.
because but I gotta put in for that, and
hmm
everything like that. And I mean, I'm talking like, okay, so if you take a couple days off now, like unscheduled, they call it, you take an unscheduled time off, even though I have hours for sick leave, I have hours for annual leave. They got a new area they send you to. It's the wellness area, and they check your vitals.
Oh wow.
So even if I had like, okay, let's say I come in with a note saying I was sick, they're still like checking your vitals and everything. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I said, this has to be like a violation of my rights. It's so stupid. Like, why can't I just take a day off, man? Like, I have the time. Leave me
Right.
alone.
Right.
As long as I don't have like 21 days off in the last, 2 months, leave me alone. It's crazy.
Right. Yeah, man. So
So,
that was a fun episode, but I told him I was like, man, we recorded a lot. That episode was like a hour and
it was
45
almost
minutes.
2 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
it
like
was long.
it was an hour and 50
Yeah.
minutes, I think.
So I told them, I said, we're gonna keep the show at an hour, because Trav was on producing it, and he texted me. He was
It's
like, "Yo, I'm
hard to
out."
do.
He was like, "Let me know when y'all done. I'm out."
Yeah, because
But
what did that put y'all at? Like almost 11:30.
shoot, I can't even remember. Yeah, so it was late. It was definitely well. We had this is the issue, man.
We
We had
finished up at
issues.
9. We
Yeah,
finished around 9.
yeah, but we had issues. We had technical issues on Isaiah's end, so we didn't start recording until about 9:30 is when we started. So yeah, we finished a little after 11 o'clock.
Okay.
But we're gonna keep that show at about an hour 15 minutes, something like that. And then especially when all four of us get into it, and we're gonna have
You're gonna
segments
get
like
a
that.
you're gonna get an intro for it?
Uh, yeah, Trav was supposed to be working on that. We'll see whenever that pops up, man. I don't know, man. I told him the idea that I wanted for the music. If I gotta find the music, I'll find the music. Um, and as far as a video intro for it, Trav said he'll put something together for it. So we'll see what happens. Because I don't think Fist Kicks and Flicks had an intro in his first few that we did. Eventually, Trav had some for me and Mike, but at first I don't think we had any. I don't believe we did, but I can't remember, man. That was 5 years ago now. I can't remember.
You mean not
Um,
even the music?
no, I think I had the music, but I don't think we
I
had a
thought so.
video
Yeah.
intro. We had the music,
Well, the
but not
video
a
is
video
not
intro.
important for the people who are listening.
Yeah, yeah, you're right about that. You're right about that. But also, we're gonna start being live. That show, the Winner Circle, is gonna start being live on YouTube and Twitch at 9 o'clock on Sundays, and then we're gonna make it for. It's gonna come out on Mondays. That's the schedule. That show's gonna be on Monday.
Yeah.
So when I do the Fist Kicks and Flicks intro, now I gotta have to talk about the Winner Circle because that's first on Mondays now. Us and Raw when Travis like whenever Raw comes back. Because they're always taking their time. So whenever Raw comes back for their show, so so we got quite a few shows on the Martial Arts Internet Network now, man. So
Yeah,
and
it's
then
come a
we
long
did create
ways.
We did Creed 3. So if you guys want to listen to us talk about Creed 3, that's on Fist Kicks and Flicks. That comes out. Well, when you all hear it, it will be tomorrow. Well, yeah, no, it's tomorrow for us, but when you guys are listening to it, it'll be yesterday. It's confusing saying that. So Thursday, Fist Kicks and Flicks, we're
I
talking
was gonna
about
say you're
Creed
better off
3.
just saying days,
Yeah, man. Yeah. Because
whatever the
that was
days are.
confusing me in my head just now. So, uh, now this movie. Let's talk about Batman the movie '66. I was wondering if this was the first superhero movie that ever came out, and it wasn't. There are other movies, but I don't really consider people like Robin Hood and Zorro superheroes. But technically, Zorro could have been a superhero. He didn't have any
I mean,
superpowers though, right? I never watched Zorro. I don't.
no, I mean
But he's a
Zorro's more of
hero.
a I mean, he's kind of a vigilante, so I
But that's what
guess
Batman is, right? Like,
yeah.
so I don't know Zorro's. I know who he is, but I've never paid attention to him. I don't know Zorro's story. I don't know what he's trying to accomplish. I don't know what he's doing. I don't even know what city he's in or what area he's in. I think he might have been in Mexico or something or
I
Texas. I
don't
don't
want to
know.
piss people off. I think Colombia, but he's basically like he's kind of Mexican Robin Hood
Hmm.
or Latino Robin Hood. I don't want to mix all the
Yeah,
put everyone in
yeah,
Mexican, but
yeah.
more or less, he instead of a bow and arrow though, he has a sword.
Right.
He fights for the people. I don't know that he's necessarily robbing the rich and helping the poor,
Hmm.
but more or less like he's helping the people, not you know um of his area.
Yeah.
So he rides the horse, he uses the sword, he has the hat and covers his face, and then
Hmm.
uh
Yeah.
he's always and he always gets the girl. So
Right.
it's a regular same story. They did an updated version of a TV
Yeah.
show on Amazon this past year. Not
Oh,
bad. They actually did. It was pretty good.
okay. I thought you were gonna say the Antonio Banderas movie that they did have.
No, that's the best movie that was out. Those were good movies. Him and
Hmm.
Catherine Zeta-Jones and
Yeah.
there was another person. But this one was I didn't recognize any of the people in it, but I just wanted to see what it was, and it was pretty good. It was decent.
Okay. So I saw some other ones on here like Dick Tracy, like I said, Robin Hood,
Oh, I
uh,
forgot about Dick
Zorro.
Tracy.
Dick Tracy is a lot. I mean, he is like a legit. He's like a legit Batman, right? Because he has a bunch of villains that he goes up
Yeah.
against, also. And you
Yep.
would think you can look at
And
Dick
he's a
Tracy.
detective, but
Yeah,
he
he
doesn't
he,
co-
he works. He
cover his
works for the
identity.
police. Yeah, he works
Yeah,
for the
but
police. Like that's why I say he's a legit Batman because he has. Like, you can take Dick Tracy's villains and put them in Gotham, and they fit all those all those
it's
damn
true.
characters.
It's true. It's very
But
true. That's funny.
yeah. Um. So I don't think I can really say it's the first superhero, but maybe it's the first one for Marvel and DC. Maybe it's the first superhero. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you never know. In the '30s, there might have been a Captain Marvel movie or something, but was it in the theaters?
Wait,
Well,
Dick Tracy
probably
was Marvel?
no, 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 no. But I don't really.
Oh,
When I
okay, I
think of
was
when I think
confused.
of
I was gonna say
no, no. When I think of superheroes, I'm thinking of people that possibly can fight Thanos.
yeah.
I don't think Zoro can fight Thanos. I don't think Dick Tracy has a chance against Thanos.
No, no,
Not
I
at
get you
all.
on that. I
So
get
that's
you.
that's why I kind of consider. But when I typed it into Google, those characters came up, and those characters movies. So I ended up typing in uh superhero movies by Marvel or DC. And then I mean 'cause something else came up like the Phantom came up. But these are all in the '30s.
Oh, the
And of course,
Phantom.
yeah,
That
you
guy. That
know,
one was weird.
yeah, they have stuff like that, and maybe like the Spirit or something like that. So there are other movies that came out, but I always thought of this as one of the first major ones. But if you lived in that time in the '30s and '40s, whatever, you might have considered those other characters might have been their version of superheroes. So I guess we technically can't say this is the first superhero movie, but you know, the first Batman movie for sure. I think, unless they had a Batman movie in the 30s or 40s, should say
I don't
40s.
think so. I don't think so.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, I know they had Superman and Batman had a TV show back then, right? They were
Yeah.
in black and
Yep.
white or something like that, you know. So, all right, let's talk about
It's
Batman 66. What did you think of this? And this movie did come out in theaters, Joe. This came out in theaters. This movie came out in between season 1 and 2 of the series.
all right. First off, you got to take into consideration this is
Yes.
1966,
Yes.
but this is iconic Batman. I mean,
Yeah.
this is literally they basically took the comics and made a TV show, and then took that TV show when it ended and made a movie, and that's what it is. It's Adam West. It's why can't I think of Robin's
Burt
name?
Ward.
Something
Burt
Kurt
Ward.
Ward, Burt Ward, and they got everything that you expected a Batman movie. They got villains. They got the Batmobile. They got Alfred. My fa- my favorite just made me laugh so hard when Bruce Wayne was supposed to be trapped by Catwoman,
Hmm.
and Alfred and Robin are
Yeah.
in the car
I
following
knew you
them.
were gonna say this. I knew you were gonna say this.
Why is
Wait,
Alfred
wait.
wearing a mask?
I knew you was gonna say that.
Obviously, it's Alfred. Come on, that had me dying. I was like, okay,
He had a hat on too, though. He had a hat
I
on
know,
too.
but he's literally dressed like a butler with a mask on. We
Yeah.
know who you are, Alfred. Like, come on. That made me laugh so hard. I was like, okay, this is the best movie I've ever seen. Like that one part just made me die.
But you should
And
have also died that Penguin and Joker also had on mask. Also,
oh yeah,
that didn't.
that was even funnier. Like we don't know who you guys are. Uh Everything about this was funny, but also just it's Batman.
So
This
we
was
cannot.
comic book Batman.
We can't. You know what, man? I did not read. I've never read a Batman book from the 50s or 60s, so I don't know how they were written. If these were written the same way that this movie was in the TV show, if because it was really, really campy. It was really, really goofy and silly. But
Yes.
I don't think these people thought they were being silly at the time they were making this. I think they thought they were being, like how you're supposed to act. Even though, man,
Yes.
Adam West is overacting, and I think that became
Oh,
his stick.
100%.
I
Yes.
think that became his stick. You know,
Oh, the other huge issue with this movie is the fighting. They're
yeah,
fighting. I mean, it looked like watching WWE, man. Like this was serious. Like
it looked worse than
even
WWE to me.
it was
Yeah.
like you could see the punch was like 3 inches from him, and he'd just be like, ah. I was like, oh man. And I don't know if that was on purpose either, because I feel like choreographed fights, even in the '60s, should have been a little better. But it is what it is. It's fine. So the idea, I'll tell you one thing: the Batcave was great for this time period. I always loved this Batcave. You pull
Okay.
back the head, you push the button, you
Yeah.
got the little fire pole, costume change lever. Come on, what
And
the
I'm
heck
thinking,
is
like,
that?
how? Like, how are they getting their clothes changed if they're holding on to the damn pole? That's that's what I wanted to know. And a bunch of strippers all over this country want to know that too.
Right?
Because imagine they could just slide down from upstairs, just slide right down. Now they got the stuff on.
Oh my god, I was dying. So they slide in, they get in the Batmobile, they drive to they're calling. Okay, they got this bat phone in the
Wait, hold on, hold
'60s.
on, hold
We
on, hold
don't
on,
have
hold
cell phones yet, but we got a
on,
bat
hold on,
phone.
hold on. That's another thing, man. Everything they had was bat this, bat that, bat this, bat that.
That's what it was. That's what Batman everything was. Let's go take the Batmobile to the Batcopter. And they're
Right.
calling an airfield. They're calling
Yeah.
the airfield. They got their own special airfield uh designated area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Prepare the Batcopter.
Yeah. Yeah.
Drop
Yeah.
the bat ladder.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. That's what I said. I was like, and I was watching that. I said, everything is bat. Like, that's just not the ladder. Put the ladder down. No, it's the bat ladder. Put the
So
bat ladder.
supposedly they're going after this yacht. Did they say what was going on with this yacht?
what was wrong. I think they just got a distress signal that somebody needed help.
Yeah, that's what you. Yeah. So during this rescue on this yacht, this random tuna or shark or whatever they said it
There's a
was
shark. Hmm.
just grabs Batman by his leg,
His
and
leg
he's
should have been
like,
gone. His leg
first
should
off,
have been.
that shark looked like a Lego shark. It was worse than Jaws, and he's
Yeah.
punching it and hitting it, and he's asking for the Batman, the Bat Shark spray or whatever.
I
I
was
was
wondering.
like,
I was wondering, like, this shark can breathe out of water. Like, he's not like trying to get back down. He's not gonna let go. No,
look at
this
this.
shark
Wait, wait,
held
wait.
on the
I,
whole
I
time.
didn't even pay attention to this. They got oceanic repellent bat sprays,
Yes,
barracuda,
yes,
whale, manta
yeah. I saw
ray,
that. Yes,
shark.
yes, yes,
They've thought of
yes,
everything. I mean,
yes.
it's hilarious, but they were so serious. And I'm sorry, but they did Robin dirty in this whole entire show and movie.
As far as saying
Down
holy everything.
wholly everything and that outfit.
Oh, yeah. But that's the outfit from from that. That's the comic accurate
I know,
outfit.
but come on, man. Put on some pants, bro.
Well, he has it on. He didn't start wearing pants until the 90s, like
I
1990
know.
or 91, somewhere around that. When with the Tim Drake Robin, Tim
But I'm
Drake
saying
started.
Batman gets at least some tights that are like you can't see through.
Yeah,
Robin's tights are damn near sheer.
yeah.
So he
Robin was based off of Robin Hood, and that's why he wears those
oh,
little shoes like that. Also,
of
yeah,
course.
yeah.
So yeah, so Robin to the rescue, sprays the shark repellent. And the funniest part is when we see all the bad guys together, they're like, "Oh, it almost what did they he it was an exploding shark or supposedly."
Well,
He's
yeah,
like
they stuffed it with dynamite.
he said my exploding shark would have worked, but they had shark repellent.
Yeah,
Dang.
yeah,
Really?
they stuffed the shark with dynamite. They knew exactly. They had to light it, right? Or did they have some type of? Did they have
You
some
would
type of
think.
timer on there that they can just hit a button and it exploded? Whatever. But Batman was not bleeding, even though the shark. Like, how else is the shark holding on to you? His tights aren't ripped. Anything. Like, he should have lost
I
that
don't
leg
even know.
because the shark was on his leg for a long time.
And how did I forget that they made Catwoman Russian?
Yeah. Well, she was playing a role.
I know, but she still, even when she was Catwoman and when she was playing a role, she still pretended
I
to
don't
be
think she was.
Russian.
I don't think she was being Russian when she was Catwoman. I think that was just when she was just as Miss Kitka or whatever.
Oh yeah.
And I got a problem with that also, but we'll get into that in a second, in a little bit. I got a
So
little bit of a
some
problem.
so somehow they're discovering that all the bad guys have gotten together to come up with this plan
Hmm.
to take over not just Gotham, not just the state, but the whole world
Hmm.
somehow. But they don't know how. But it's the Riddler, the Penguin, the Joker, and Catwoman.
Hmm.
All four have gotten together to take over. And so it's like they're acting like the four of them together could do it. Two or three couldn't do it, but the four together, oh man, we really gotta watch ourselves.
You
Just
know what, man? There's a lot of campiness. Like, to me, this movie, if this came out in 2025, if this movie never came out in the 60s, if it came out in 2025, this movie would this would have been a movie. This would have
oh,
been
100%.
this would have been the Wayans brothers spoofing superhero movies. That's what this would have been.
But this got good reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. I mean, like it was like
Yeah,
one of the top Batman movies.
yeah.
And I'm just dying because I mean, yeah, I can see where people loved it, but it's just
I
so
don't think people
ugh.
took it seriously. You're not taking this seriously like you're gonna take the Dark Knight movie. They know
Like
they're gonna it's gonna be goofy and they're gonna laugh. It's more so as a comedy more so than an action movie.
this Joker. was a different Joker that we've had. He wasn't like a psychopath. He
Mm-hmm.
wasn't a clown. He was like just silly
Mm-hmm. No,
and
so that
smiley.
I would think he is the clown. You know, because the three Jokers
But he
are
wasn't.
the
Yeah, but he
gangster,
wasn't
the
like
clown,
trying
and the
to.
psychopath.
But I'm saying he wasn't like trying to do anything silly or funny or anything. I mean, some of the
No, he
stuff
was
he
just
said was a
laughing.
little weird, but
He was just
yeah,
laughing all the time.
he was almost the butt of most of the jokes.
Yeah,
And then the Riddler with his riddles, but the riddles were terrible.
yeah, there were. I mean, the
They,
answers were stupid. The
that's what I'm
answers
saying.
were they weren't even real
Honestly,
answers.
Catwoman was okay, but she was only dressed as Catwoman like 3 times, and it was brief all 3 times.
Hmm.
Other than that, she really played the role as the reporter most of the time. And then the Penguin, the only problem I had with the Penguin was great as far as looks and everything. But why did he have like pirates?
They on that TV show they always had you know thug people
Yeah,
that they were used for.
but pirates for the Penguin?
I mean in the Batman Returns he had circus people.
See, that makes more sense for the Joker.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. You're right. You know, you
Did
didn't.
the
Did you,
did the
did you
show?
realize? Did you realize who the Penguin was?
Yeah, that's just crazy.
No, I mean the actor.
No, who is it?
Aha, it's your boy, man. I'm surprised that didn't get you. I thought that was gonna be the first thing you said. That's your
I wasn't
boy.
paying attention. Who?
That's Mickey. That's Mickey from Rocky. That's Mick.
Oh, are you kidding me? Are
That's
you
him.
kidding me?
No, I'm
That's
100%.
crazy.
Yeah, that was
Oh
him.
my god, I didn't even pay attention to that.
I
That's
thought you would.
even better.
I
Oh, I
was
love
for
him even
sure.
more.
I was
I
for
love
sure
him
that you
even
was gonna
more.
get that, man.
I didn't
You didn't
catch
hear the
that at
voice. You
all.
didn't hear the voice.
No, I do now. Now I do. Now I'm gonna have to watch it again. Dang, that's crazy. That's hilarious. Oh, Mickey makes a good penguin.
I just thought you was
Uh,
going to get it because we just got done with the Rocky series on Fist Kicks and
was
Flicks, so I just
was
knew you was
Harley
going to get
Quinn
it.
ever on the? Was Harley Quinn
No,
ever a part of the?
Harley Quinn was created for the animated series, but now she's part
Okay,
of the Batman lore, or whatever. But she was created for the cartoon.
so they realized that the yacht was a mirage and that it was created by a buoy. So they got to get on the Bat boat now. So we've already had the Batmobile.
Yeah,
We've had the Batcopter with the
yeah,
Bat ladder
yeah,
and the Bat shark repellent, and now we got the Bat boat.
yeah,
Can't make
yeah.
this stuff up. And so they're getting out and they're going to check out this buoy, and they got to figure out where the,
And they figured
I
that
guess,
out. They thought of that. Like they had left and figured out. Oh, it must have been the buoy that had some type of mirage. It was making some type of mirage for us. So they went right back
they
to
open it
that.
up and find a lens. But
Hmm.
after they find the lens, the Penguin and his submarine, these bad guys have all kinds of money because let me tell you, they have a lot of, they have as many toys as Batman has.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
Um, they they are able to control things on the buoy. So they magnetize the buoy so Batman and Robin are stuck by their utility belts
I got a
and
question
they're,
about this too.
I know, right? And then they start shooting torpedoes, but Batman has a special frequency that can use the magnet to destroy the torpedoes.
Yep,
And the funny thing is, so he destroys 2 of the torpedoes, but the third one he doesn't get to.
yep.
And then they escape.
It run
And
out of
they're talking about the
batteries.
escape. Yeah, they run out of. I'm sorry, you have this helpful tool to destroy torpedoes and you run out of batteries that fast? That's a
Yeah,
problem. Uh, so they're escaping and they're saying, "Oh, this beautiful, wonderful porpoise saved our lives." So
yeah,
basically, the torpedo hit a school of dolphins to
yeah.
save Batman and Robin,
Yeah, a dolphin knew. Oh no, this torpedo is coming to kill Batman. I can't allow this to happen. Let me
right?
jump in front of it and protect them. Like a dolphin would really be thinking that.
No, maybe Aquaman was helping out. Who knows?
That would have been a better explanation. That would
right?
definitely would have been a better explanation.
But
And they
see,
have he's part of DC. That would have been perfect.
but Aquaman's not going to sacrifice dolphin.
You
Just
never know, man. Maybe it was some sickly dolphin that time was almost up anyway.
maybe
He's yeah.
the
He said, "Go ahead, Miriam. Go go save Batman for me."
the funnier thing about this is Batman calls this Secretary of Defense or whatever and asks
That
him
was
if he sold a old submarine recently and who he sold it to, and he was Penn D Wing.
P.N. Gwen. P.N.
Yeah,
Gwen.
Penn Gwen. It's like, and the guy was like, "Oh, I'm so stupid." And you're like, "Oh, what?"
Batman response was funny. Batman response was funny. That was funny. He
P.N.
said
Gwen.
you sold a submarine to someone that doesn't even give you an address. You just a
Yeah, they
PO
just
box.
gave him a P.O. box.
Yeah.
That man wasn't happy. He told the admiral, not so good. Yeah, that just the
He just kind of
craziness
hung
and
up
stuff.
on him. He just kind of hung up on him too.
So then, a missile shoots in the air, but it's not dangerous because it's just a message from the Riddler, and it says, "What does a turkey do when he flies upside down?" That's the first riddle. What weighs 6 ounces and
Yes.
sits in a tree and is very dangerous? And it's just like,
Oh, hold on one second, Joe. That second one, you were going
oh,
in and out.
sorry.
I didn't even hear anything you just said.
What weighs 6 ounces and sits in a tree and is very dangerous? So there's your two riddles. And Batman already figures this out.
Hmm.
And they said a turkey gobbles upside up. And then the number two one, it
Yeah,
was what
gobbles up.
yeah, it was what kind of creature would gobble up a bird in a tree? A cat. So that's how they figure out Catwoman's involved, and the Riddler, and the Joker, and the
Yeah.
Penguin. Now they got all four people, and that it's just a silly way to help them realize, like,
But my thing was, this was my thing. Why is the Riddler even telling them that? Why, why, what was the purpose? With
uh,
any of these riddles that he sends up, it's like, why is he even telling them anything?
who knows?
And these answers, what, man, I don't know if I didn't write any of these answers down to these riddles, but one of them was, oh man, it was something about a banana.
Oh yeah, because and they used it to realize that someone important was going to slip on a banana, meaning
Yeah,
that they were going to set a trap for that
yeah,
for
Miss
uh
Kicker, Miss Kicker. Yeah, that was, and I was like, that doesn't even make any sense. Like they could at least used real riddles for this, but they just made up.
well,
There was like a kindergartner came up with these damn riddles.
yeah, it was a hot mess. But their next plan, because they want to get Batman and Robin into their trap, and the trap is to have Joker spring them out the window into Penguin's exploding octopus. So the bait is going to be Catwoman as Miss Kitna
Kicker.
for Bruce Wayne. For
Hmm.
Bruce Wayne, they're going to capture and kidnap Bruce Wayne, and then Batman and Robin are going to come save them, and then they're going to spring the trap. Well, obviously that's not going to work because if you kidnap Bruce Wayne, they don't know this, but you're kidnapping Batman.
Yeah. Now Bruce Wayne seemed like he was really, really creepy because when he
A little
would
bit.
look at when he looked at Miss Kitka, like he was just entranced. And my question was, okay, this is in between seasons 1 and 2 when this movie comes out. At some point in time, I know he has seen Catwoman, right? They
Mm-hmm.
had to have seen Catwoman because these characters have all broken out of jail. So he knows they don't put them in jail in there their costume, they're gonna take everything off. So I was
Yep.
surprised that he didn't realize who she was when he met her because she comes to see him. And
Yeah,
what
that's
did she
true.
what did she want? She needed help with something. Do you remember what she wanted when she came to visit him?
She was. I think went to her because he thought there was a trap being sent against her, so he was going to stay to protect her by taking her out on a date.
Yeah, but she came and told him. She came and talked to him first, and then they put that together. I thought, and then that's when they staged because remember he goes back and tells Alfred and Robin to follow him when he takes her out on a date, and then he goes to her and he meets her. But she came to his. Remember she comes to Wayne Manor and he asked Alfred to see her out, and then he told Alfred to meet me downstairs in the back cave. But she needed help for something, and then that's when he said, "Okay, I'm going to take her out on this date, and then you two follow us," because that's when they figured out the riddle that something bad was going to happen to her. So they were
She
they were
said
trying to set up.
she brought the riddles with the acronyms,
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
yeah, to him. I'm watching it right now. And
Okay.
that's how he figured out. So she said, "Should we go to the police or should we get Batman instead?" And that's when he decided, "I guess we can go to dinner and we can maybe figure out
He was
what
trying to
to
set
do."
something else up. Bruce
Yeah, he
Wayne was
was.
he seemed pretty creepy, and he wanted Robin and Alfred to watch him too, because he wasn't acting like he wasn't being recorded and filmed, and they could see everything. And I was wondering, where's the
And
camera?
here,
Where's the camera? Like,
uh,
how can they see
I don't think
everything?
they could see. They were listening
No, they were looking
because
at the screen. Remember, Robin kept turning off the screen because he didn't want to. He didn't want to. He felt like he was being creepy by watching them.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And
Yeah.
then
So
turned it
that
off.
yeah, he turned it off, but they were looking at them. It was a screen where they were looking at, and because
Oh
out
yeah,
remember,
in the I forgot they got the little TV in the Batmobile.
yeah, they had the little TV in there. So I was like, he does. It looks like Bruce Wayne's trying to get busy. He don't care that Alfred and Robin are watching him. He wants some kicker.
He really did. 100%. So they're following, and you know, when it started to get hot and heavy, they stopped listening and watching, and
Hmm.
that's when she pulls a little cat out and starts Morse code.
Oh, not the cat that he was looking for.
No, not the cat he was looking for. Not even close. Basically telling them it's clear to come in
Yes.
and abduct Bruce Wayne.
Now, did you laugh at this part? Because I did. I
Which
know
one?
Melissa was. So the next
You
scene
mean when they're
is
flying on the
yes.
umbrellas?
Yes, it reminded me of the Wizard of Oz, man. I was like, this looks so goofy and silly. They're flying. They're on their way to capture Bruce Wayne. It's
But
the
they called
Joker, the
the
Penguin.
penguin said get the jetpacks, but those are not jetpacks.
Yeah,
You're
it's the
basically
Joker, the
flying on
Penguin,
a broom.
Riddler, and the Henchman, and they're all flying on these umbrellas on their way. And Robin and Alfred sees them because Robin says like "Holy Halloween" or something like that. And I'm thinking like, okay, you see them coming, go in there. He oh no, I'm sorry. He saw them leaving. He saw them leaving.
Yeah, he didn't see them when they
That's
were
right.
coming. He saw them
Because
leaving.
he turned the TV back on and a fight had happened and he saw that the apartment was messed up and nobody was in the
Yeah,
apartment.
this is the crazy part to me. So Bruce Wayne's fighting these bad of the worst of all criminals.
Hmm.
And why would Bruce Wayne be fighting anyone? How do they not figure out you're Batman that you're fighting everybody?
Well, I gotta tell you, man. I mean, I think either one of us would be fighting. If I mean, because if you look at the Riddler doesn't look too scary to me. Like he doesn't look like
No,
he could put up a fight. Joker doesn't look like he can put up a fight. Penguin definitely doesn't look like he can put up a fight. So he's probably thinking like, "Hey, I'm Bruce Wayne. I've had boxing lessons at the Y. I know how to do something. I know how to do a couple moves. I've had a personal trainer. That's the only thing I could think of. I did have that thought too, man. Like, why would Bruce Wayne even be attempting to fight these guys? But
and how did the paper instantly get Bruce Wayne was kidnapped. Like,
Only thing I can think of is Robin and Alfred. They must have leaked it for, but why would they do that? But anyway,
so Bruce Wayne's they're trying to get information and get Batman to show up, and Bruce Wayne's like he's not cooperating with anything until he sees that Miss Kitka is okay. So Catwoman has to take off her disguise and pretend like she's captured in another room, and they take her over there, and Bruce starts talking about a transmitter in his elbow,
I
and
missed
I
that
didn't
part.
get that.
I
Yeah, he
missed
starts
that
talking
part.
about there's a transmitter in his elbow, but it was all a ruse to get them to take him back. And then when they started to investigate, he starts fighting everybody and gets away.
Yeah,
So
and he kept
I
going
don't
back in the
know.
room. He ran in the room looking for Miss Kitka also, but she wasn't
Yeah,
there
she was
because
gone.
she's
Yeah, she
because
was
she was Catwoman at this time. He didn't know it. He didn't recognize that.
no, but he left her there,
Yeah,
probably thinking he was going to go back and save her.
and that's exactly what he thought.
Now
Because they did go back when he went. He left. He ran away and went home, and just to get Robin and change clothes and go back.
this part took me a minute to figure out what the hell was going on because the penguin has some kind of weird machine and
Hmm.
he points it at his guinea pigs, his 5 guinea pigs, and he says it's going to absorb all the water.
Hmm.
And then they turn these people into ashes
Yeah.
or dust or whatever you want to call it. But then he collects the dust. So I'm like, well,
Hmm.
did you just kill these people? And I did not know what the point was of any of
Okay,
this
I can tell
until
you. So
later. No, I
okay,
got it later when I saw
okay.
it, but it just, I was like, at the moment, you were like, what just happened?
So you
Why
should have
are
been.
they collecting these people?
So were you confused about the old man that they had captured? You had to be confused about him also.
Oh, no, he's the one that created this thing, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, at the time, you had to been thinking like, who is this guy? Like this captain that they're
No, I knew
bringing
they said he
food to?
created something, but I didn't know what it was until they
Yeah,
brought it out. But then I was trying
yeah,
to figure out why are they picking these piles up. I didn't realize these piles they were going to rehydrate them later.
yeah, yeah. I got you. Well, yeah.
So
So no,
and
no.
the
So yeah. So Penguin says that at that scene. I think he tells Riddler or yeah, I think he told Riddler and Catwoman what
yeah,
he was going to do.
I had no idea what the hell they were talking. It was very confusing, but I got it. Okay, cool, no problem. And then Batman and Robin come back, and they were confused as to why this neighborhood was allowing criminals like these to hang around. But then somebody told them that, oh, stuff like this happens every day. Nobody would just notice random criminals. Like, what was that?
Oh no, I thought they didn't like those guys because they were drinking alcohol in the '60s. I guess that was a
Well,
no
that
no to
was
be drinking.
Robin being a little baby. But then they show up to the hideout where all the people, but they had already left. And then there's this big, like, video game bomb.
Oh man, yeah, you're right about that. You are right about that, man. That was
And
straight out
Batman's
of
just running around with this bomb. He has no idea how long it's going to take for this bomb to go off.
no.
And he's running past people. And then he goes to throw it in the lake, and there's a couple of ducks. Y'all
Yeah.
just killed 4 dolphins. Why do you care about these ducks? What do you say? There's just never a good place to throw a bomb or something.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
The one
yeah,
liners. So all of
yeah,
a sudden, the bomb blows up, and Robin thinks Batman blew up, but then he says, "No, it's okay. I threw the bomb and I hid behind these iron steel pipes or whatever."
yeah. Now, from the moment he runs off screen, the explosion happens. He should not have
Yeah,
had any time to throw that bomb in the water and then jump behind those pipes. So I just had to shake my head at that, man.
that's all you can do, man. I thought he was gonna throw it in the tuba at one point.
Yeah, I was wondering. That's another thing. I was wondering if you were going to get tired of seeing this band walk by playing this song. They're just walking around playing instruments for no reason.
It's just so random. I mean, and water sprayed everywhere, so he must have threw it in the water, I guess. He just had a
Yeah.
answer
He
for
said,
everything.
he
But
said,
then
damn them
this
ducks.
this random guy shows up dressed like a sailor, who's obviously the penguin, and they even call him the penguin. And he's telling them all the
Yeah, they
reason
know
he's
it's the
not.
penguin.
I know, but the penguin says early, like at this point, I'm like, what is this freaking Scooby Doo? Like, damn. Uh, he said earlier he's got a good plan to get into the Batcave.
Hmm.
So this was his plan,
So
and
he was pretending to
they
be the man that was kidnapped. That's who he was pretending to be. He was
yes,
pretending to be that guy.
but he told them because he changed his fingerprints and he changed some other his eyes or something for confirming his ID. So he told, "Don't you have something like this in the Batcave that could tell you who I am?"
Yes,
Which
it
is
was gonna
what he
scan his
wanted.
eyes. Yeah, it was gonna
Yeah.
scan his eyes. Yeah.
So of course we got to get the Batman, the Bat knockout spray
Yeah. Yeah.
because what's life without your Bat knockout spray?
Right. Well, they got to make
And
sure
they
whoever they take back to the Batcave doesn't know how to get there.
and they take him back and they wake him up and he asks for some water and he says because the knockout spray made him parched, but really he wants to rehydrate his guinea pigs so they can attack
Yep.
Batman in their lair. But the problem is when he does that, the guinea pigs one hit and they disappear forever. So there's a flaw in the plan.
Because when he hydrated them, the cord went to heavy. So the water came out that was supposedly too much, and it was almost like a water balloon. Like you fill too much up, if you hit that water balloon, it's popping. So that was the
Yeah.
supposedly explanation. So you had to do a light, and later on in the movie when they rehydrating some other people, it says light water or something like that.
So they take the penguin back wherever and they they get into the what was this, the bat cart? the
Oh
the
no, no,
bat
let's talk
bike?
about this part. So they have a fight. So these guys get popped really really quick, and the penguin jumps on this ladder, and he's thinking like they're about to beat me up, but they pretended that he was the captain. They pretended he was who he said he was, and they were going to take him out. I was surprised the penguin went along with them. He should have known, like, I just attacked you, and now you're calling me who I said I was earlier. That doesn't even make any sense.
Well, these are not the greatest supervillains. But they just drop him off in the middle of nowhere with the Batmobile, I might add,
Yeah. Well, he
and take
gassed
their.
them. He
Oh yeah.
gassed them. He gassed them. So luckily, but Batman knew that the penguin was going to do that somehow. So
Oh,
he
he
took a
gave. Yeah, he
pill,
gave. Took a
and he
pill.
gave Robin one. He gave Robin a pill. So when Penguin tried to gas them, it didn't affect them because they already had anti-penguin gas pills that they could take.
But how? Who gets the Batmobile back home? Does it just go back on its own, or does Alfred
I
show up later?
I don't think they ever explained that.
I was
They
wondering.
just got random vehicles all over Gotham.
They really do, because the Bat bike was just covered up by a couple of the
Yeah,
trees.
yeah, right at that same spot where Batman stopped the car. Because he
Yep.
wanted Penguin to take the Batmobile, and they get in the they get on the motorcycle, and Robin gets the little sidecar. I was watching that thinking like I haven't seen a little sidecar in a long time. It's been a long time since I've seen that on a motorcycle.
Right. They the Riddler shoots another riddle up. Where is it? Come on, show me the riddle. And what does it say? What goes up white comes down yellow and white. That's the first one. Oh, and Robin says it's an egg. And how do you divide 17 apples among 16 people? Make applause.
Oh
Make applesauce.
yes, make it
A
applesauce. Yes.
unification into one smooth mixture, an egg, nature's perfect container, the container and all hopes for all the future. Unification, a container of hope. United organization, precisely, Robin. Like, how do you get that from that? That makes no sense.
It makes no sense. And they were right. They figured it
Of
out.
course they
So once
were.
again, I was wondering, like, why would Riddler even tell them that?
He doesn't tell them. That's why he does it in riddles. You're not. He doesn't think anybody can figure out his dumb
But why
riddles.
even tell anybody? Why even give him? Every time Batman and Robin are going to figure out his riddles, like, I mean, I would
That's the Riddler,
like
man. The Riddler
Batman,
thinks he's smarter than everybody.
I guess.
Now, they show up at this building and the Penguin does his thing with his umbrella, gasses everybody, and they go in and they got the United World Security, whatever,
Now,
and
hold on
they
for 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Up to this point, the Riddler, Joker, and Catwoman are together. Joker and Catwoman think that Penguin got rid of Batman and Robin. Riddler didn't believe that. He didn't think that was going to happen, so he was prepared to take them out. So they
yeah,
weren't surprised when they see them later on in the Batcopter because they took the bike back to the airfield and then they get in the Batcopter and
yes.
continue to go.
So they use the dehydrator gun or whatever they call it, total dehydrator it says, on these security people. Which, by the way, the guinea pigs all turned the same color. These people all turned in different colors, so I don't know what that
Mhm.
means.
It was supposed
Of
to be them. They said it without saying it, but it was them because of their different nationalities. These people are all different nationalities. The guinea pigs weren't. They were all the same guys. These people were
got
from
you.
different parts of the world.
So there's 8 of them, so they got to scoop them all up. Now, what was their plan to capture them somewhere else, or to that's the part I didn't understand. Like, okay,
I-
you dehydrated them. You
yeah.
have a problem right now with rehydrating,
Oh, I know,
but
I know,
what?
I know. Yeah. So the purpose was they were going to tell each country you have to give us, I think, $1 billion. Each country has to give us a
Oh yeah,
billion
yeah,
dollars.
yeah. That's what. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Before,
in order to get these people back, and then they were going to
yeah,
be
that
rich.
makes
That
sense.
that was that
That
that was
makes
that was the
sense.
point.
But of course, Batman and Robin show up and
I think they
figure
could have
out
just
the
kidnapped
plan.
them. They could have just
They really could
kidnapped
have.
them.
Well, you know,
They didn't
you
have to
need
go
something
through all
better than that.
this.
They really didn't. But they're back in their submarine, and they see on the radar something's coming in real fast, so it has to be the Bat boat. Which, by the way, that Bat boat is the loudest boat I've ever heard in my life. Like, you're not getting anywhere stealthy.
Well, no, they were in the helicopter, and Riddler
Yeah.
shot another riddle, or he shot a missile at them, and it hit them. Well, it hit the back of the I think one of their propellers because they started falling. But what was funny to me was the Riddler wanted to tell the world what it is that they wanted. And it was funny to me that the Joker was like, "Hey, no riddles, just just tell them straight up what it is." And Penguin and Catwoman also agreed, like, "Hey, man, like, cut this riddle shit out.
Yeah,
Just
we're
tell them
we're
what we
done with the
want with our
riddles.
money."
So the funny thing is, until this basically
Oh, no, no,
like
no, no,
lasts,
no, no, no. We can't forget this part. As they're
which one?
falling in the helicopter, they so happen to be lucky enough to land on foam, and they did
Oh
not die.
yeah,
They thought they were going to crash, and they didn't. And Batman said,
yeah.
"Luckily, I saw that out of the corner of my eye." Really?
Of course.
Really? You really saw
Yes.
a, a
Really,
foam
Gene?
a foam store as you're
No.
twisting, as you're falling out of the sky, twisting and twirling all the way down to the ground. Boom! You landed perfectly upright in the right spot at the right time. Perfect.
So when they're in the boat, they start circling the submarine and hitting it with bombs or whatever until they surface. And
Hmm.
when they surface, they get on. And I kept wondering the whole time, like, how come we didn't get the sound effects like they always do in the show? What
Ah,
I didn't realize is they have to be Batman and Robin and
yeah,
then get into a fight, not
yeah.
Bruce Wayne fighting. It doesn't happen every fight. It only happens when Batman and Robin are in their costumes fighting. So
Um,
that was right at the end.
but we saw Batman and well, I guess that fight wasn't really long with them fighting the guinea pigs in the Batcave. I guess it
Yeah,
wasn't.
but it wasn't really a fight because they just disappeared.
Yeah, I thought that they were just saving that for the end of the movie because at that point in time, like it had been a popular trope in the TV show. I just assumed that they were just saving that, for a pop in the movie theater.
Yeah,
But I
that
was
makes
thinking the
sense.
same thing as you. I was thinking the exact same thing as you, Joe.
I was just thinking maybe if it's a movie, they weren't trying to do that, but then they saved it for the last fight. We got your thwap and bam and pop and boom,
Hmm.
and it's entertaining because the fight isn't that entertaining.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. They gave the people what they came to see.
yeah, pretty much. And Batman discovers Catwoman, who she really is. He seemed really bummed.
Yeah. Now this is the part. I was like, at no point in time did Batman fall in love with Miss Kitka. But they're acting like, oh, you broke my heart or whatever. He shouldn't. He got to play that off right now, or else she's gonna be like, oh, wait a minute, you're Bruce Wayne. Like how? Like why are you looking at me like this, Batman? Like why are you having
True.
feelings? So I think one of the villains said something earlier. They said something to Batman about Miss Kitka, and it instantly made me think like like why would you say that to Batman about her? Because Batman doesn't have any type of relationship toward her. Bruce Wayne does, not Batman. So you guys don't know that.
Yeah,
But man, he
they weren't
he he he
thinking.
he he dazed off when he saw her, and he started thinking. You start hearing the music play, and he's reminiscing about all the good times they had together. Man, he was sprung. He was
He
sprung on
really
Miss Kicker.
was. Um, yeah, so they take the security people back to the Batcave, and they figure out how to save them all.
Oh no, you didn't say what happened. The the,
What do you
the,
mean?
the, the captain guy comes in because he's
Oh
wondering like
yeah,
what the hell is going on because he was in the damn submarine the whole
yeah.
time.
They were
He comes stumbling
distracting
out.
him. They
Yeah.
were distracting him.
So he comes stumbling out, wondering what's going on, and he trips or bumps into them, and he ends up bumping into Batman, and he drops the vials with all of the different
Oh yeah, they all got mixed
world
up. They
people.
had to separate them.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, that once again, man, they really push the limits on making you stay in the moment of the movie, man. Because some of the stuff that happens is just so ridiculous. Like, come on now. Like, I can
Oh,
only
100%.
I can only suspend my disbelief for so long.
Yeah, so they have to figure out before they rehydrate them how to separate each.
Yeah, because they're all mixed up together. All the
Yeah,
different
could you
colors, they're all
imagine?
blended together.
Yeah. So somehow they figure that out. I don't. They didn't really explain what they did, but
They
they
had a
figured it
machine.
out.
They had a machine that could separate each little grain of dust or whatever they were, sand or whatever they were. And they put everything in there, and it automatically just separated them back into their own vials.
And then they could be rehydrated.
Yep.
Now, what was the original use for this machine? I wonder, or this device.
For
Like, why
this
make it?
this exact moment, they had it just in case something like this happened. They had it ready to
No,
go,
I'm
just like
saying
the shark repellent.
the dehydrator.
That's why. That's what I'm talking about. Well, you mean the captain? Why would he invent this?
Yeah, why
I
did
don't
he
know.
invent it?
I have no idea. I don't. I
So
missed.
yeah,
If they said it, I missed it. I don't know. But this is another funny part. So then they end up taking once they got them back divided, they took all the vials back to wherever they were having this meeting, and they put them back in their seats where
yeah,
they
I
were
know.
sitting. Right. And Batman hooks up this 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 water situation, this water system on each vial, and he turns it on, and all of these people get rehydrated. Right? Where did the vials and all of that machine go? All of that equipment, all the tools, everything just kind of disappeared when they all
Yep.
popped back up. They just disappeared.
Yep. And they crawled out the window
Yeah. So
because they all started going crazy.
nope. Yeah, because so these people are talking, but they're all talking in different languages. That's they were mixed up. They were still mixed up, and Batman was like, "Oh, he wasn't gonna try and fix it. He wasn't gonna try and re-dehydrate them, and maybe take a couple of pieces of dust out of this one. Oh, we still have some pieces over here. Let's mix this. Let's put this right back. No, no, he was just like, oh well, this is good enough. Let's get out of here,
We
Robin.
tried.
Right,
We tried.
yeah, right. Let's get out of here, and let's make sure nobody sees us, even though we're gonna walk in front of everybody and leave. And the police, the news, nobody is paying attention to Batman and Robin as they walk away. They're just so confused as to how everybody is speaking in their incorrect language now. And Batman and Robin, they just, yeah, like Joe said, they take out their bat ropes and they just start sliding down, climbing down
I
out the
mean,
window.
they had a long day, okay?
And
You
that
got a
was
grade
it.
for this?
Yeah, man, I'm going to give it a C, man. I'm going to give it a C. A C. It was silly, it was goofy, it was campy, but it stayed true to the TV show. It 100% stayed true to the show, man. If it came
Yeah,
out now, like I said, this would have been a spoof movie, man.
yeah. And that's what I got out of it too. I was thinking C plus, so I'm right there with you. Um,
You can't really grade this too hard. It is what it's supposed to be.
yeah, I agree.
Now
And for 1966, I was surprised by some things. I was not by some others. So it was interesting. It was fun to watch. I'd watch it
now
again.
they had two animated movies that are sequels to this, which came out in the 2000 teens. So
Really?
yeah, and Adam West and Burt Ward reprised their roles. Um, I'm not well. I'm quite sure the Penguin and Joker, they had other people. I think the woman that played Catwoman, she also reprised her role. They just did the voices, right?
Yeah,
So there's two animated movies we might get to one day, and 'cause
yeah.
I,
That'd be
I I
fun.
mean, and they're direct sequels to this movie. So
No
that'll be
kidding.
pretty interesting. Yeah, that'll be pretty interesting to watch.
Man, they waited a long time for that.
Right? Didn't they? Well, Adam
Yeah,
West
because
was
I
probably
mean
like,
that's
well, I'm at this time he's probably like, well, I'm doing voices for Family Guy. I might as well do my show also. You know.
no for 100%. And I mean he was doing a lot of cameos and all kinds of shows
Mm-hmm.
and other
Yep.
things. So
Yep. So he never. I don't think he ever made it. He wasn't alive when the second cartoon movie came out, animated movie. He wasn't alive when that, but he did complete his voice work for that movie. So all right.
very nice.
So let's stay with Batman. We're going to do Batman '89. So this most people will probably consider the first Batman movie. This came out in 1989. I
Yep.
remember when this movie came out, man. It was like Batman hysteria. Like it was crazy. Everything was Batman everywhere. McDonald's, the toys, T-shirts, the hats. It was crazy, man. Batman was everywhere. So we're gonna talk about that next. You
Yeah,
got
I haven't
anything
watched
else,
this in
man?
a while, so
No, I haven't either,
no,
man. It's,
man,
it's been a long time.
this is fun. I'm enjoying
Yeah.
it.
All right. So Batman '89 is our next movie that we're gonna cover. And for Fits, Kicks, and Flicks, where are we at? We said Warrior season 2, right?
Yep, one episode 1 and 2.
All right. Yep. Episode 1 and 2 of Warrior. We have already reviewed season 1 of Warrior, so you can check that out. Or just look up Fists, Kicks, and Flicks on YouTube, Martial Arts Center Network, or any of your streaming apps for podcasts. Anything else, Joe?
Oh man, I'm good.
All right, everyone. Stay safe, stay strong, and stay super, man. That third S, man, always gets me. And we are out. I'm gonna play our music.